Welcome to This Week in College Football, the #1 college football podcast in the world, where we give our opinion on the latest news and action in the past week of college football. Now, here is your host, Rob McHugh.
Welcome to another edition of This Week in College Football. Sitting here today with a little roundtable discussion with Andy Deason and Kevin Moore.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Kevin.
Glad to be here.
We're going to talk about the Sun Belt Conference today. We'll go ahead and get started because we got a lot of things to do. We'll start with Appalachian State. They open up the season again with Michigan, and I'm giving them a loss. I'm going to give Michigan the win in that game.
But I'm pulling for Appalachian State.
Me too.
Yes, can't help it.
Then they have Campbell. I'm giving them a win on that one. And they're at Southern Miss, at Georgia Southern, South Alabama at home, giving them 3 losses right there. Then they have Liberty. I'm giving them a win. Then they're at Troy.
Well, that's a loss.
That's a loss. Georgia State.
That's a loss.
I'm giving them a win with Georgia State. Their coach.
Well, they're playing at home on that one. So
I think Trenton Miles is their coach, and he says he's building a program over there. But wasn't Bill Curry there for a couple of years?
Yes, he was. And I think Star Jones went there for a little while. That quarterback from Alabama. Didn't he go there, Kevin?
Yes.
I thought he did. Did he ever play?
Yeah, he limped off the field against Alabama when he came.
That's what I thought. He's a star.
Then they have Louisiana Monroe. I'm giving them a win there. Then they're at Arkansas State, at Louisiana Lafayette, and they have Idaho, and I'm giving them 3 losses right there at the end of the season. They could possibly beat Idaho. I'm just giving Idaho the win because Paul Petrino is their coach. So
I have a question mark by that one. So
I've got them going.
I got 5-7, 6-6.
I've got them going 4-8 or 5-7. Then we have Arkansas State. And Arkansas State opens up with Montana State. I'm giving them a win there. Then I think they lose their next 3.
Well, they're going to Tennessee to make some money. They're going to Miami to make some money. And then they're going to Utah State to make some money. So they ought to come back with quite a bit of money after those 3 games and those 3 losses.
They have Utah State at home.
Oh, they do have Utah State at home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, they can stay home and make some money.
Well, after they play Tennessee and Miami, they'll have enough money to buy some first aid kits.
Exactly.
Well, one thing about them this year is their coach, Blake Anderson's first-year coach, because their head coach left to go to Boise State from last year, and he says he's going to be there for the long haul. He's going to stay.
Well, I mean, they've had 3 in 3 years.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze, Malzahn, and then the guy that went to Boise. So
well, if he has a good year, shoot, I'd go.
Yeah, money talks, I guess. Then they have Louisiana Monroe. I'm giving them a win there. Win against Georgia State. And then I think they lose their next one at Louisiana Lafayette. Giving them a win at Idaho. Lose at South Alabama.
I've got them beating Appalachian State.
I do too.
I do.
And got them beating Texas State.
Yep, I've got everybody beating Texas State.
And got them beating New Mexico State.
Too. So
I've got them going 8-4.
I've got them at 7-5.
Then there's Georgia Southern, and they've only been an FBS school for, I think this is their 2nd year. Because they were an FCS school and won 2 or 3 national championships.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're coming in.
And I can't for the life of me remember the coach.
Ert Russell.
Yes, thank you. Well, he did good things for them. He did.
Well, they got their new coach this year is Willie Fritz, and I can't remember where he came from, but he doesn't run the wing T wishbone type of offense that Georgia Southern's used to running. He's been coaching for like 27 years, I think.
It's going to be wide open
and
with him.
He came from Sam Houston State, and so I don't know if they're going to change up their offense or what they're going to be like this year.
Ever since I've been in high school or keeping up with the Georgia Southern program, they've always ran the wishbone or some type of.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch that. I'm afraid that it's going to be one of those kind of programs, just like Nebraska. They ran that offense for so many years, and when they changed it, they fell apart.
Yeah.
Especially the first year.
Well, Georgia Southern beat Florida last year. And didn't they?
Yeah.
They were in the game. I don't think they beat Alabama a couple of years ago, but they were in the game.
I was at that game, and that was the 2011 defense, one of the best defenses, probably if the best Alabama's ever had. And that team still managed to run for over 250 yards rushing. I mean, it's just one of those offenses you just can't prepare for in a week.
No.
And I don't understand why a team. And of course, if I was a coach, I'd be more inclined to go to an offense like that. Of course,
Well, it's hard to stop that, and it's hard to defense it, and nobody does it much anymore. So you have to change your whole technique of what you're doing to play a team like that. And they did. They gave Alabama fits.
and like in an offense like that, the only way to beat a team like that, you have to get up on them like 21-0, and make them force their hand and take them out of their rhythm.
Yeah. They open up at North Carolina State, and that's kind of an iffy game, I think. I'm giving North Carolina State the win, but that could
I've
be
got a question mark there because the first game of the season, and North Carolina State hadn't impressed me the last few years since the Rivers boy has been gone, and Georgia Southern's been, I can see them upsetting them.
Got them winning at Savannah State, losing to Georgia Tech, losing to South Alabama, winning against Appalachian State, winning against New Mexico State, winning against Idaho, winning against Georgia State, losing at Troy, winning at Texas State, losing at Navy, and winning at Louisiana Monroe. I've got them going 6-6.
That's about right. And Louisiana Monroe, wasn't that the team that surprised Alabama a few years ago?
The Warhawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think 2011
They beat Auburn.
they beat Auburn and they beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they beat us the year that we had Jimmy Johns out there.
Oh, yeah.
The ball, playing like a high school
Where
kid.
and the receiver Hall or Brown was suspended for a half.
DJ Hall.
Yeah, DJ Hall.
Uh-huh.
They got some money coming in down there at Monroe now from the Duck Dynasty guys.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
So they got some.
I was in Captain D's in Gadsden in Anniston yesterday, and these 4 bikers came through, all with their Duck Dynasty beards. They were headed to Texas, and then on the way back, they were going to go spend a couple of days with the Duck Dynasty boys, and I think they're going to be on their show.
Huh.
They were coming from Georgia, headed toward Texas.
Then we have Georgia State. I've got them going 2-10. They open up with ACU, giving them a win. Then I think they lose their next
I've got
10
them
ball
losing
games.
Yeah, I've got them losing all the way up to Appalachian State.
I've got them winning the first game and losing to New Mexico State, Air Force, Washington, Louisiana Lafayette, Arkansas State, South Alabama, Georgia Southern, Appalachian State, Troy, and Clemson. And then I'm giving them a win at the end against Texas State.
Yeah, Dabo Swinney will get them the last game, next to the last game of the season.